Got some breaking news this morning. This is Thursday, May 18th, 2017. Looks like DevaCurl has indeed been sold. And I'd have to say, I actually saw it coming. If you don't know who I am, my name's Ken Nichols. I'm the co-founder of Raw Curls and the Raw Hair Organic Salon in Naples, Florida. It's one of the top curl salons in the country. Yeah, looks like DevaCurl has been sold. Earlier this morning, I got a message from a good friend of mine, a longtime industry veteran in the beauty and hair industry, Mike Nave. He is the recently retired editor-in-chief of the Beauty Industry Report. And that is a monthly report that comes out to basically manufacturers like myself and distributors and people like that in the industry. And he's always had a lot of really good scoops on stuff because he's been around forever, and everybody knows him and everybody likes him. So anyway, so I got a message earlier this morning, and looks like they've been acquired by a investment bank. And hold on a second, I'll tell you the name of it. I've been saying it for the last 20 minutes, and I can't remember what the name of it is off the top of my head. Yeah, but it looks like Eris Management LP has signed an agreement to acquire them for between $250 and $300 million. The report also stated that DevaCurl is projected to make about $65 million in net sales in 2017. So I do have to say, I did see this coming. Early in my career, for those of you who know who I am, I actually did come from the venture capitalist world. I worked for one at the very beginning of my career, and I watched these kinds of things happen. And about 3 years ago or so, for those of you who follow, know what happened, that the three co-founders of DevaCurl, which are Dennis DeSilva, Lorraine Massey, and Sherry Harbinger, had basically sold a large chunk of the company to an investment bank that very quickly brought on Colin as the CEO to run the company, and Lorraine Massey left. No one ever actually explained what the reasoning behind that was, but from what I see in her Facebook post, she's quite happy doing her charitable work, which is great for her, good for her. But Sherry Harbinger and Dennis DeSilva have stayed on, and the CEO, Colin, actually came from, I think, Wella. He was a CEO or one of the managing directors at Wella. And to me, coming from the venture capitalist world, I knew exactly what was going on. It wasn't good. I said right from the beginning, I said, you watch, this is not going to be a long-term deal. This is not going to last a long time. They're going to shape this thing up for some kind of sale. And sure enough, that's exactly what happened. And I could see over the course of the last couple of years, that's exactly what they were doing. They were coming out with a lot more lines, a lot more products, a lot more marketing. And I knew who they were going after, too. I could see it. I could see the positioning. Shea Moisture, as of right now, has about 150 SKUs on the market, individual items. And DevaCurl had been increasing that on a regular basis. And then over the last just couple of months, they closed their Culver City, California salon, which is a pretty big salon out there. They also then last month closed their White Plains, New York salon. And I knew right there, I'm like, you watch, this is coming. So last month I had breakfast with Sherry Harbinger and a couple other people. My wife, Melanie Nichols, is also the co-founder of Raw Curls. And obviously she didn't bring any of this up, which she wouldn't be able to anyway. And I wouldn't have expected her to tell me, or any of us for that matter. But it was pretty obvious to me with the closings that they were getting ready to sell. So what do I think this means? Well, I got a pretty good idea what it means. If you're a salon or a stylist and you're handling Diva products, I would expect Diva to now go right head first, right after Shea Moisture. I think you're going to see a battle in the retail environment between Shea Moisture and DevaCurl as they go right at them. It was pretty obvious that Shea Moisture's got a pretty solid footing as the biggest player, Diva being the second biggest player, I think. in that category. So I think you're going to see some pretty solid wars going on between them. So I think retail is their position. That's just my guess, regardless of what they say. I think that's what you're going to see play out in the next 12 to 18 months. What does that do for distribution? I think that you're going to see them in a lot more stores, Deva in a lot more stores than you ever saw before. I think you're going to see a massive change in availability, which is good for the consumer, bad for the stylists and salons. And I think you're also going to see probably their pricing come down so they can compete with Shea Moisture. Pricing coming down, yeah, is that a good thing? Sure. What's that going to do for ingredients? You guys are pretty smart. You can figure that out on your own. That's just my guess coming from the manufacturing part of this industry and the background that I have. So anyway, so what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to try to get an interview a little later on today with Mike Nave from the former editor-in-chief of Beauty Industry Report. I'm going to try to get some of the inside scoop, so you can come back here a little later on and watch, and I'll give you the updates as I can. Also, if you want, you can go on Facebook, follow the Curly Girls support group page. That's my Facebook group, and I'll be posting in there as well. And on my Instagram @rawcurls as updates come. So anyway, DevaCurl has been sold. Looks like about $300 million, and it's sold to another investment bank, just like a big portion was before, Eris Management LP. So that's your breaking news for Thursday, May 17th. Say the 17th? May 18th, 2017.